Bro, what the hell did I just watch? The last chunk of this episode? What is To Your Eternity doing to me? I mean, they're casually just killing my boy. Now he's gotta come back, right? But I mean, the rapid fire of seemingly losing his forms as Hayase's descendant goes absolutely wild. Mentally, this crazy love that he thinks he has, I believe he believes that nonsense. But the fact that the knocker in the arm had another story, I mean, we've all been waiting for the knocker to go crazy, and it's very clever directing because before it actually happens, Kaku's like grabbing the shoulder of Fushi, it kind of like bends into the armor plating, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna get a little psychopath, and then you see the rubbing of the faces. That was insane. This entire episode was about mentally breaking Fushi to the point that he has no will to seemingly live anymore. He is completely over it, and that's why the nonsense that Kaku might be able to throw at him, he just doesn't care anymore. But the fact that you do him that dirty to then have Mommy March come in saying, I'm here for Fu-chan, you leave Fu-chan alone, and I'm like, this is not how I expected the reunion to go down. Now, I have a full live reaction to today's insanity-filled episode, so if you want to see my full, uncut, what the hell thoughts, especially for that what the hell ending, head on over there and consider supporting. This has to be like one of my favorite episodes I've watched this season of anime, and that is saying a lot given how many good To Your Eternity episodes have been here, alongside all the other amazing shows I'm watching. But this was an absolute bonkers episode, and we were this close to Fushi having the full truth of the revival. I mean, at this point, you can't just admit to it in the middle of a battle. Bon had the right idea, but Bon also recognizes, like, he can't keep it a secret any longer, whether it's partially to protect him, whether it's partially so he doesn't accidentally do stupid things with Revival and potentially lose his abilities. At the end of the day, we gotta wait till this battle's over, but Fushi comes to the realization, whether it's true or not remains to be seen, that unless he basically connects to the whole world, essentially he won't be able to rest until the knockers are completely eliminated. And the fact that over the course of a week, he's become this mentally burdened. It's not about physical pain, it's not about physical wear and tear. It's simply about the fact that he is simply done mentally. He now has to just shoot people in the head and explode them in the middle of a crowd. Yes, logically, he should take people like that to an alleyway where people aren't going to think he's a murderer and a horrible monster. But the fact that he's now growing so numb to the monstrosities and the actions that are tormenting him, he felt like he was the one step away from jumping off a cliff. And seriously, had March not come in to say, Mommy's here, shaking and trying to free, I truly think Fushi would have just let himself be consumed there. Just end it, because he's completely done. And whether it's a mixture of the knocker acting completely on its own free will, or Kaku just saying, my boy needs to be free, no matter what, that was a ticking time bomb that was waiting to explode, and explode it did. This episode just had so many moments that by themselves could be the star talking point. I mean, you literally have the king dying, and the princess, we see her about to jump for her life, and I'm like, no, my girl, you still got lots to live for. And then you see, oh shit, she's been infected. I'm thinking to myself, it's okay. He'll just tell Fushi to revive her and things will be fine. And Fushi will realize Bon lied, it will be drama-filled, but hey, at the very least, the princess comes back. The princess wanted to live in a dream world and she floated off to heaven. And I'm like, how are these characters going to deal with it? And the fact that you can have, I would argue this, I'm going to stick by this statement. This is one of the most psycho scenes I think I've personally seen in anime. Because rather than it just being simply a blood-filled mess, instead you have Kaku free himself and have the bag of groceries being like, hey bro, don't worry, this isn't my blood, it's just the blood of one of your fellow soldiers. You can probably revive him, it's fine, don't worry about it. But I'm gonna go make you dinner. And then when you bring the three amigos to the dinner table, and they act like everything's normal and they fight for their life, building up to the explosion of death, that was the most serial killer scene I think To Your Eternity has ever shown us, and we've had Hayase on this show, and that is saying a lot. But the psycho doesn't run far from the family tree, and that was wow. I don't know how to feel about that. Finishing this episode, even after watching the preview, I'm left speechless. I mean, it takes me about 10 minutes before I come up here to record my thoughts as I make my thumbnail and everything, but ultimately, I still am just left absolutely speechless. I mean, he comes back, he's gotta, right? I mean, from what we understand about knockers, right? Whatever knocker steals his form, if you kill that knocker, you get the forms back. So, whatever is left of Fushi, I mean, seemingly if we kill Kaku, most likely the forms come back. And say all of his forms were taken in that arm, well, I guess March and Bon will have to be the ones to kill Kaku in order to get Fushi back. Like, that seems to be the logical direction. Fushi's not gone forever, it just wouldn't work on a narrative level just yet. We're still too early into this world cycle to be gone with the knockers. But for really breaking Fushi down, showing him go from a sweet, innocent boy to then feeling like he was so close to the Man in Black in personality, to then feeling like he was getting better, to then just seeing him shattered to the point of wanting the sweet relief of death. How do you not say this was a 10 out of 10 to your eternity episode? I have been an absolute huge supporter of this show ever since season 1, episode 1. But the more I watch of this show, the more I just say this is hands down one of my personal favorite anime that have ever been produced. It does so much right, and just the fact that you kept Bon alive for so long, and the fact that we got to witness an arc like this, the concept of immortal soldiers, I mean, not only do you have to worry about what it does to their psyche, fast traveling by suicide, but the fact of the matter is, we have to look at what it's doing to Fushi mentally, and ignoring the physical things, like he's bleeding, he feels like his body's 1 point away from death. The moments building up to him sitting there waiting for Kaku to come home to cook dinner, we were seeing his face in a way and his voice actor in a way that it almost felt like he gave up. He was ready for the sweet release. And seriously, March not being there, coming in that moment, I truly feel like there would be no hope for him coming back. I think he would absolutely just let it happen. But seeing like the eye in the one moment, it almost looked like it lit up, being like, there is hope. My family can come back, so maybe that will be his turning point into coming back to the lovable boy and his humanity and potentially being saved. I mean, there is a lot to break down about this episode, but I can't gush and be shocked any more than I currently am. So thoughts and feelings yourself down below. Definitely let me know what you thought of this episode down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. Ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload on the channel. And of course, as I mentioned, I got that shocking live reaction available on my Patreon. And while you're there, you can also get yourself a video shoutout. So today we got Dark Coyote, JJR10, and Hermes Hemp. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.